What's up everybody, I'm HoopsandHipHop. So everyone kind of has some sort of skeleton in their closet, if you will, and that extends to all facets of life, including Pokemon. Now, I'm in a sort of unique position being a PokeTuber because I make videos about Pokemon all the time, and even though I wouldn't necessarily consider myself an expert just because I don't like to brag about myself, I still know a lot about Pokemon and I study it all the time for the channel. However, with that being said, it doesn't mean that I've seen everything there is to see and done everything that there is to do with the Pokemon franchise. In fact, there are some things that I haven't done that I kinda don't necessarily want to admit being in the position that I am here on YouTube. And that's what this video is all about. Today's video, I am going to be confessing to you guys 5 things related to Pokemon that you probably wouldn't expect about me. Now, these things are probably going to make me seem like a noob in terms of the Pokemon community, but I promise you, I am not a noob. Pokemon is my life, I love Pokemon, obviously I make 2 videos a week about it, so this video is just going to be fun and give you guys an insight into my experience with Pokemon and how I've grown up with it and basically how I play Pokemon and the experiences that I have with it overall. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and check it out. Alright, let's start with something mild here and talk about shiny Pokemon. Outside of the obligatory red Gyarados and gold and silver, I have ever only caught 1 shiny Pokemon, and I have ever only seen 2 shiny Pokemon in my whole time playing Pokemon, which goes back to Generation 1. Now, you might be surprised by this, obviously, like I said in the intro, given that I am such a Pokemon freak, obviously, but when it comes to shiny Pokemon, I just have never really been interested in capturing them. Now, granted, I really love the concept of shiny Pokemon, and I really understand the thrill that shiny hunters get from hunting out those shiny Pokemon. However, when it comes to me, that's not necessarily what I play Pokemon for. There's going to be a trending theme that you're going to notice throughout each one of these points in this video, and that's that I play Pokemon for the main adventure, the main story, and basically for the main campaign, if you will, of the game, aside from different things like competitive battling or shiny hunting or things like that. It's not that I dislike those things, it's just that A, I'm not super interested in them, so I can't really dedicate the time from them based on my interest, and even if I was interested, I just flat out don't have the time to dedicate to something like that, because shiny hunting, competitive battling, all of that sort of stuff takes a lot of time, and given that I am A, an adult with a full-time job and other responsibilities, and B, I am also running a full-time YouTube channel, I don't have a lot of time for a lot of stuff. And then when you factor in there's other games that I want to play, it just basically I have no time for shiny hunting, and it's just something that's ironic that I've noticed about myself, that despite being this Pokemon fanatic, this so-called Pokemon expert, I've only ever seen 2 shiny Pokemon in my life. Alright, now this second confession is probably one of the confessions on this list that I am more ashamed of, especially once again, given my status here on YouTube, and that's that I have never trained a Pokemon to level 100 before. Now, I know, like, I kind of suck, I'll admit it, but it just, I don't know, it just has never happened for me before. Now, granted, I have gotten very close. I've gotten, the highest level I've ever gotten a Pokemon is like 95, and that was my Zoroark in Black and White 2, and I still have that save file, so if you gave me like 2 or 3 hours and I actually had the time to do so, I could get a level 100 Pokemon pretty easy because I'm only 5 levels away. But once again, just for whatever reason, I never got around to getting a Pokemon to level 100, and like I said in the last point, it once again comes down to my experience and my preferences with Pokemon and just playing it for the main adventure and the main story, outside of like grinding and getting those different achievements. Now, obviously, getting a Pokemon to level 100 is something that any Pokemon trainer or any player would aspire to, but when a Pokemon game ends for me, especially after like the post-game section, it becomes really hard for me to keep playing because, like I said, I don't really have any interest in shiny hunting, I'm not into competitive battling, so I'm not training my Pokemon for that, so it honestly comes down to grinding for the sake of grinding, and that's why they call it grinding, because it's not very fun. And when I've got other things in my life going on that are fun, and I've got other games I want to play, and I look at my game and I'm like, you know, I've already completed this, I just end up sitting down my Pokemon game and I never pick it back up again to train those Pokemon to level 100. So, admittedly, it's probably something I should work on, and I should do it at some point just to say that I've done it, because it's kind of one of those things that you really need to do if you're gonna be like a person who plays Pokemon all the time. But I mean, yeah, that's the fun of the video, and that's what I wanted to share with you guys today. Alright, the third confession on this list is one that might not necessarily seem surprising, but it is something that I kind of feel bad about, once again, being like a Pokemon superfan, and that's that I have only seen about 6 or 7 of the 20 Pokemon movies, and I basically have not followed the anime since, like, the 3rd generation when they went to Hoenn. Now, there's a variety of reasons for this. Back in the day when I was a kid and I was following the Pokemon anime, there was this little thing that came into the equation, and that was Yu-Gi-Oh! Now, back in the day, I was a huge Yu-Gi-Oh! Fan, and I was also a Pokemon fan at the same time, but I think anyone can agree that the main Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime is way better than the main Pokemon anime, simply because the Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime follows an overarching story, whereas the Pokemon anime loosely follows the games and likes to tell one individual story in each episode. So the Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime rather, definitely has an advantage there, and as a kid, it just got my interest way more than the Pokemon anime, and so I kind of, even though I still played the games, I dropped the Pokemon anime, and I picked up the Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime. And then from there, just as I grew older, naturally, the Pokemon anime just seemed less and less appealing. Like, I've wanted to get into it and I've wanted to follow it just because obviously I'm a Pokemon fan, but the Pokemon anime is very overtly directed towards kids, more so than even the games. The games are friendly to kids, but it's something that adults can play and enjoy, whereas the Pokemon anime is directed towards kids, it's written for kids, basically everything about it is for kids. And for me personally, watching it as an adult, it's kind of a little too happy-go-lucky and everything's good and dandy, and that's kind of just the vibe I get from it, and it just isn't as interesting as I would like it to be for me. Now, I've tried to follow the anime like in recent times with following Ash through the Kalos League, and I watched the recent Pokemon movie I Choose You, and I mean, once again, while I was interested in that whole Kalos arc, because I think that's the best that the Pokemon anime has done in a while, I really just haven't been able to get into it. And with the Pokemon I Choose You movie, honestly, I really did not like it that much, and I could make a whole video about that. I don't want to go into it right now, but I was a little disappointed in the movie for the amount of hype that it got. So while I am kind of ashamed of this, it's one of the more understandable points, I feel like, just because of the situation of the anime and how it's directed towards kids. But hey, that's my third confession. Alright, my fourth confession is another somewhat big confession, and that's that I have never completed the Pokedex ever. Like, 100% completion, never done it. Now, this is another one that I'm kind of ashamed to admit, because this is another thing similar to training a Pokemon to level 100 that's kind of like a basic requirement, I guess, of being someone who plays Pokemon a lot, but I do have a couple very good reasons why I haven't completed the Pokedex. Now, the first reason is because for the longest time, you couldn't complete the Pokedex 100% legitly, because there was those last 2 or 3 event Pokemon that for most people were unobtainable. And this is what I experienced back in the day during like Generation 2, because in Gold and Silver, I did complete the Pokedex outside of getting like Celebi, Mew, and maybe Mewtwo. Actually, I would have gotten Mewtwo because I could have traded it, but there were basically those last couple Pokemon I couldn't get because they were event only. And back in the day, those events were either A, restricted to one single location, so the rest of the world didn't have access to it, or it was at like a Toys R Us or something, which sounds easy enough, but being a kid in the 90s and early 2000s, it was pretty hard because A, you had to get your parent to drive you there, and I live about a half hour away from the nearest Toys R Us, and B, not having internet, it's hard to know that those events even exist in the first place. So it really is not an easy thing even with those events in place. Back in the day when there was, say, like 251 Pokemon, I was able to complete the Pokedex outside of those last 2 Pokemon, A, because I was a kid and I had the time, and B, because there was only 251 Pokemon. Fast forward to today, and now they're making those event and mythical Pokemon easier to get, so I could actually 100% complete the Pokedex, and this is kind of the first time I've ever had that opportunity. But now there's 800 plus Pokemon, and I'm an adult and have a lot less time. So basically, like I said, it's a catch-22 situation where now I finally have the opportunity. I just don't have the opportunity, so it really sucks, but I'm hoping at some point in my life I won't be insanely busy and I can try to complete the Pokedex. I know it's a lot easier now with Wonder Trading, online trading, the event distributions, as I said, so if I really committed like a solid couple weeks to it, I know I could do it. It's just getting those couple weeks that's the problem. And my 5th confession on this list is definitely also the most strange, and I don't really even know how to explain it, so let's just get right into it and let me tell you the story. So it's been known on this channel for a while, if you've paid attention at all, that Generation 2 is my favorite generation, and I've even said several times that Heart Gold and Soul Silver are my favorite Pokemon games of all time. Now, while this is definitely true that Heart Gold and Soul Silver are my favorite Pokemon games, I kind of have amnesia when it comes to my experience playing them. I've only played through them one time, and that was back when they first came out, and even though I remember very vividly going to the store and getting them and playing them, I can't remember a lot of specific details about the game when it comes to my experience with them. So for example, there are a lot of things in the game, such as the Team Rocket radio tower takeover and how they revamped the look of the radio tower, and you confront Archer at the top and you're in that big dome. Like, I don't remember playing that at all. I know I played the game, but I do not remember experiencing that moment. I don't remember my feelings, which is really weird considering, like I said, it's my favorite Pokemon game. And it's even more weird considering I remember my experience with earlier games such as Ruby and Sapphire, Diamond and Pearl, even all the way back to Yellow, but for whatever reason I just draw a blank sometimes when it comes to Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Now, there are things that I do remember about the playthrough, such as obviously the Pokemon following you, getting to see all of the revamped mechanics of the region. I do even remember a little bit of Kanto and going through Kanto, which is my favorite part of the game, although I don't really remember battling Red, which I hate that because that's my favorite part of the game! Now, I definitely don't want to come off as some kind of poser or something who doesn't actually play the Pokemon games he talks about, because that's definitely not true. Like I said, I have played Pokemon Silver. It would be kind of stupid if I said it was my favorite Pokemon game if I had never played it. I just have always thought it was really weird that I just can't seem to remember my experience with it. I definitely need to go back and play through it again, but as far as like weird confession sort of things go, I think this is like as strange as it gets, so I had to bring it up in the video. And there we go, guys. Those were my 5 Pokemon confessions. Now, I really hope you guys don't think of me as some sort of noob or amateur, because I definitely know I am not a noob. I just play Pokemon, I guess, for different reasons than other people play it for. And I think that's the really cool thing about Pokemon, is that you can play it for the competitive battling, you can play it for the shiny hunting, or you can be like me and play it for the main story and the main adventure, and any one of those ways is perfectly fine. And I think that's the cool thing about Pokemon, that you can do so many different things with it and still enjoy it just the same as someone else who plays it for a completely different reason. If you guys enjoyed this video though, be sure to give it a like and let me know down below your own Pokemon confessions. Now, obviously I admitted kind of the worst skeletons in my closet, if you will, when it comes to Pokemon that I have, so definitely don't be afraid to let some goofy or funny facts about your experience with Pokemon in the comments below, and we'll definitely all have a fun discussion and just have fun admitting some things that maybe we're not so proud of. Anyways though, with all of that being said, I will be back with another video very, very, very soon, so until then, as always, I will smell you guys later.